Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me start out by saying thank you to the Madness Entertainment Network. These guys we are now streaming to a ton of other places, including Big Sexy Outdoors, YouTube, and Facebook. So that's going to be great for everybody. I hope everybody's watching, and I appreciate you for joining us tonight. As always, I have the ugly mug, Sexy Beast Chris over here. And tonight, below here, you guys will see Jim Horner from the Chubby Buck. Jim and I have become friends, and Jim is a great dude, and we have a disagreement. So we decided there's no better place to take out our disagreement. And I don't know where Chris stands, so I agreed to this, and I could completely have him against me, and I could be hung out to dry.
I asked me to be against you like 5 times, but that's a different story.
Not that way, Chris. So we're going to talk tonight a little bit about the PGC proposal. Now, it was turned down, some of it, but I still think it's a great topic, and I think it's a great subject to continue with. So I'll let Chris begin. I sent Chris an article, kind of just to him what we're going to talk about here a little bit. So, Chris, you want to pull that up?
No. Okay. So there you go. Yeah, PA Game Commission is looking at actually moving the start of deer season to back before Thanksgiving, the Saturday before, as it says here. So I guess you guys are going to chat about why it's happening, what are the positives, negatives, so on.
There's no positives.
Yep. Oh, there's lots of positives.
There was a positive when you went for an AIDS test.
I knew it was coming. Chris, before we start, and you jump in and I figure out what side you're on, do you see where you stand in this?
I don't see a problem with it.
He's against me.
What's the problem?
He's against me. Here we go. All right, Jim, I'm going to let you start, and then you and Chris can put me on a chopping block. Chopping block. Here we go.
All right. So you're going to let me start. So give me 2 reasons why you don't like it, Ben.
Well, I'll tell you why. So I'm going to give you a couple. And listen, Jim, I want you to know I did my homework. I have this little notebook right here with all these notes I have written in here.
He can't write. He can't read.
Oh, Jim, I don't like the way we think alike. All right, so I think I'll give you a couple reasons. One is it speaks in there about rut. And I feel that the rut is still going in the first week of rifle season. So I feel that the second week of rifle is a hit or miss. But when we're shooting 200-300 yards at deer, do we really need the deer to be in rut to make this fair chase?
Agreed.
Okay, so that's I stand at that a little bit.
I kind of agree with that a little bit.
Yes.
But I offered you to give me 2 reasons. That's one, rut. What's the other one?
Okay. So my other reason is, for one, they keep bringing up, one thing I keep hearing bringing up is they want to get more people involved, and that's one of their reasons, right? School and all that.
Yep.
So I'm going to call it the only way I know how to call it. I call it bullshit.
Okay.
So what I've learned over my lifetime is Pennsylvania Game Commission, all they want is dollars. So they want more people involved to bring in more dollars. And I see other aspects that we can bring more dollars in that we don't have to use it to take over or interfere with the archery season in any way.
Okay. That one I don't agree with, because I can tell you that the Game Commission, with the amount of money that the Game Commission is sitting on, they could probably, with interest and banking and all of that, they could probably operate for 75 years without selling another hunting license. Most of the reasons that people, you surprised me because you didn't give me the reasons that I expected. The reasons that I expected were pretty much that they interfere with your hunting season.
Well, it is part of it, but that's not my main part.
Understood. What?
I don't like this, Jim. He's on your side, and I'm not interrupting. I don't like this. Can we text him or block him here?
Let me. What is the definition of insanity? Do you know?
Yeah, it's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Exactly.
Or slash my ex-wife.
If we do nothing right now, if the Game Commission and Pennsylvania hunters do nothing right now, we will continue to lose 1 to 3% of hunters 18 to 25, ages 18 to 25. That's 1,500 to 4,000 hunters a year, every year, and we don't get them back. The number one cause of those 18 to 25 age limit losses are lack of time in the outdoors. You and I spend lots of time with kids, getting kids interested in hunting and get them out there and enjoying the outdoors. What's happening to them is when I graduated high school, 75% of us graduates went into the workforce, and 25% of them went to college. Today is exactly backwards. 75% of graduates are going to college, and 25% are going into the workforce. So those 75% going to college have so many commitments with classes and being away from home and travel time that your deer season is taking a beating. So you and I get these kids involved and they love it, but they graduate high school, they go to college, and they lack the time to get out. Not like you and I were. And I don't know your past. I don't know if you went to college or not. I did not.
My mom hated me.
So we graduated. We went to work. So we made it a priority. We had time. We had time to go. So we are kind of blind to this situation. We don't realize that these kids, they're giving up something they love because of commitment to their future. And it's very hard for them. Once they quit at 18 to 25, they don't come back because now they're used to not going. And to get them back interested in it again is kind of difficult. You know that as well as I do. Once they lose interest and they quit, they're not going to go again. So that is the bleeding of the younger generation. It's just a hemorrhage that we're losing those hunters. And
Jim, I want to chime in 1 second, not to interrupt.
Go ahead.
So first thing is I personally haven't looked up statistics, so I'm not going to sit here and argue over statistics and say I know or what. But statistics are just, 100 people in a room and 25 or 75 say this out of 100 instead of 18 billion. So statistics to me are always hard to match because, it's a small area where it matches. And I'm not saying in a room of 200 that isn't the ratio.
Right.
Now, I guess my question to you is before we carry on, let's stick to that part of it. And that is this. Do you think people are leaving because of that? Or do you think people are really leaving because they're going in the outdoors and taking that 100 feet off the road that they used to take or 200 feet off the road, and they're finding their next door neighbor, 25 neighbors aside of them, and no deer? Because that's what I see as the bigger issue. I see the bigger issue being that we have no deer. These people, now for one, it's their fault, I think, because they don't put any effort in to get off of the beaten path or do a little bit extra work. But in the same breath, even nowadays, I see the working man, we're losing him just as frequent as we're losing these guys. Now that's happening because lack of seeing deer. And that's happening because of, these guys don't want to go 1,500 miles in. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm fat. I don't either. But I'm willing to put whatever I got in to make it happen.
Right.
So I guess my question to you is, do you really think those statistics are all of it? Or do you think,
No.
or do you believe that, what I'm saying that has another major part of us losing these hunters?
Well, there is another big bleed. The other bleed is the fact that we are going to lose. Where do I have it here? You know what? I'm not even gonna look. I think it's 25% or 4%. 4% over the next 10 years will age out. 4% over the next 15 years again will age out again. In other words, guys my age, I'm 56, guys older than me, in the next 10 years, we're going to see a big steep decline in hunters because of all that age group is going to leave because we cannot continue to go. We are not always going to be the boots on the ground.
I got to ask, because I got to be the moderator, how do both of these arguments tie into actually this starting it a little early?
Okay.
How do they relate?
So they're trying to move that start date to open up more opportunity for those college kids. They have, most of the colleges are closed either from that whole week of Thanksgiving or from Wednesday on, which gives a big opportunity for those kids to get out hunting. Those people, and if they stay involved through their college years, there's a bigger opportunity to keep them into the future. That's where they're trying to replace some of these hunters that are leaving. Now, to go back to your question on lack of deer, I beg to differ. I hunted for many, many years. I'm probably at 50 years. I don't know. I have never seen a bigger deer herd in 4C and 4E than I see right now. There are that many deer. It's crazy. I don't have to go in 2 miles to see deer. Greenland, Berry Mountain, right up the road here. I can sit in a field up there with my muzzleloader in early season. I quit hunting early season muzzleloader because it was too easy. I can sit in the field and before dark, I'm going to shoot a doe because they come out in the field. I have, in my younger years, I never passed a buck, ever. I passed several bucks this year. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has that many deer. There are areas that are shot out, should I say, or overhunted, and people are reluctant to leave their little area, and that is more of a problem, I think, than lack of deer. Now, Ben, I know you hunt your farm, but do you really see a lack of deer?
Honestly, I think it depends where you go, if you want my honesty. So I do not see a lack of deer. I could show you my property right now where I have 25, 30 deer digging up my grass and literally taking me down to dirt.
Right.
Because the food source is so bad right now. So no, I don't think that for me. I make that statement based of other hunters. I make that statement by the things I've heard from many other hunters in the world. Now,
and I've heard
a comment that just popped up. Chris, can you pull that up and read that out loud quick?
It says, I think Jim's view on college and busy schedules for sure is a portion of the problem. I think today's society is very driven towards instant gratification, and hunting isn't that easy, which drives people to give up.
So that's my point right there.
Like this one?
I did. Yeah, well, your voice is always sexy like that, Chris. I think that what happens is I think everybody thinks everything should be handed to them now.
I agree that.
I
agree with
think that no one wants to put the work in, right? So in Pennsylvania, we're allowed to use trail cameras, right? And I'm not being smart.
Right.
I have 7 trail cameras I run all year long. I am always watching the deer. I want to know where they move from January to March. I want to know where they're at from March to June. I want to know where they're at from June until it's time for me to go kill them. And I ain't gonna lie to you, they're still running then because it's legal and we're allowed.
Right.
So, I'm always putting in some kind of homework, whether I have 20 acres to mow or I have, some nights I just have time to run and change a trail camera battery. Some days I buy solar panels so I don't have to. And I think the instant gratification, and I'm glad he said it, not me, is what I was getting at. I think that is a huge portion of this.
It is.
Now the old timers, I feel horrible for because I feel like the old timers. So here's the problem with old timers, and Jim. I mean, your dad, my dad, right? We all know what they're like. And
Right.
that is, my dad is, it's stubborn. I mean, it's a tradition. Nobody wants to lose tradition. So now we give an extra Sunday. The problem is we got an extra Sunday. And yeah, there's people kill more deer, but there's still no more hunters. It hasn't made much of a difference.
That's another thing I was just going to say. Those woods are not silent on the first day of rifle season because there's no deer. Those woods are silent because there's no hunter. There's all them doe tags that are being sold, and they're people are saying stop selling doe tags. You're selling too many doe tags. You're shooting way too many deer. But years ago, we had 1 million hunters. Everybody was, they only gave so many doe tags. They're not killing any more does right now than they were then. It's the only issue is they're giving the hunter more doe tags because the hunters are not there.
So let me ask you a question. I have to ask you this. When they take statistics, and I know you're a statistics man, but they take statistics off of a deer herd on, say my farm. I'll use my farm as an example. They take their statistics off of my 90-acre farm, and they come out here at night and they count 200 deer. Them 200 deer aren't everywhere.
No.
And that's the problem with their statistics. Their statistics are based on a posted piece of property, not a state game land piece of property. It is a posted piece of property where they take and they say, well, there's this many deer, this is so many licenses. And I'm sorry, I think that's horseshit. Now, I do think that on average, it probably does weigh out, right? It probably does.
It does.
So I do think that it probably does. If they go by my house and where you're at, and then they drive by the spots that don't, people are saying don't, it probably does equal out. The issue is
you're 100% right. With that, as far as there's a lot more deer being shot on public land than there is on private land. That's the way it works. Unfortunately, here in Pennsylvania, I don't have private land. I hunt public land. I have had great success on public land. I hunt where I really don't need to travel that far. I hunt state forestry. I do hunt some state game lands. Well, if I hunt state forestry, I usually walk onto the state game lands. So the deer are there. I'm not saying that we don't harvest more deer on public land than we do on private land, because we do. That's just the way it works. The private land kind of keeps some deer around, and I understand that people have trouble finding them sometimes. But if it was easy, we wouldn't be doing it, because then it would be just going out and shooting a deer and going home.
I do agree with that. I do.
When it comes to finding a deer, if you're looking to just shoot a deer, any deer, it's really not that difficult if you can get off the road. I agree with you where the old timers are getting more and more, they're having trouble getting off the road. They're not seeing deer. They're only going 150 yards, whatever. But those are the hunters that we're going to lose in the next 10 years. Though there's where we have to start looking toward the future to protect our hunting heritage. If we don't do anything, if they don't find a way to capture them younger hunters and keep them interested, hunting as you and I know it right now will not exist. It will disappear.
So, Jim, those older hunters, are they not who we need to teach these younger kids? So in my opinion, we should be taking some of this money, cutting some roads, letting vehicles on these roads, and allowing a lot more of these old timers to get into these spots. And maybe the old timer has a permit to hunt from the vehicle, but he can drop a grandson off, they're 300-400 yards up the woods and not sit far from it. We need that older generation, and that's kind of where I'm at it. And I'm all about the youth. Listen, I am youth. If you have a youth program, we'll never argue. Let's make it happen.
Right.
I'm all about making it happen.
Right.
But some of mine is we're losing the guys who matter. You and I can't teach everybody. They need grandpa. They need dad. They need Uncle Buck, right? Like, they need those things in order to grow. And they're losing those guys. And those guys to me, are the most important guys right now in their lives.
So what you're saying, Ben, is that you agree that it should be opened the Saturday before Thanksgiving, because that's when everybody has off school, people have off work, unlike the week after Thanksgiving or the 2 weeks there, because, well, nobody has off and nobody has the time to do it then.
No, because you're putting a rifle into my archery season.
Well, you're not.
No,
Why would you put?
You're not.
You're not.
You're not.
Archery's over well before
archery's over.
First.
Right. On the Sunday, what is it, the 14th or the 15th or whatever it be, it's on that Sunday or Friday, and then we
Saturday
start
before.
here. Why would we do that? We give the deer no break. These guys are already not seeing any deer, the ones that are quitting and complaining, and now we're pushing the deer harder and harder. Now we're starting bear season sooner. Now we're pushing all these drives. Chris, not being mean, but you're one of the guys who complains every time a drive goes through. So now you start that drive in a week earlier just because it gave you a longer season does not mean you're going to see more deer. It means you're getting pushed off even sooner.
Thank God. I'm glad you agree with that, and we should cancel the youth rifle season that's during archery then.
So I'll never disagree with anything for the youth. I said that. Never.
But people are doing drives then. If that's your argument that it's a drive issue, then they should not be doing drives during that time.
Your whole reason, your whole thing there is drives. Drives, I won't even get on the drives because I feel drives should be absolutely illegal. I don't think you should be able to drive, but that's just an opinion of mine. But guys do it. Guys love it. Guys were brought up driving. But getting back to those older guys, Ben, you're going to lose those older guys whether they quit today or they quit in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. We're going to, but 5 years longer would definitely make a difference.
Right. And I agree with that. But if we don't find a way to replace some of them, you're looking at in the next 10 to 15 years, you're going to lose anywhere from 10 to 35% of your guys buying licenses now.
So why aren't we doing more youth programs? Why aren't we building more things from the start?
But that's what they're trying to do.
No, they're trying to get more people involved in hunting and shoot a rifle and make my deer go hide while I'm trying to. That's not what they're doing. But listen, you and I both hunt. When you shoot that rifle, them deer do two things: they run or they hide. If you don't hit them. Okay. And listen, if you watch the thing now from 30 years ago when you and I started, my dad didn't let me walk in the woods if I couldn't hit it. Nowadays, bud, they all shoot, and they don't care if they hit the broadside of a barn or the deer.
Agreed.
So every time that rifle fires, and that's what I'm talking about driving, not just people, we're pushing the deer out.
It doesn't matter what time of the year that is. It doesn't matter if it's the week before Thanksgiving, the week after Thanksgiving. It's all going to happen, and it's all going to be, the deer are going to be just as scared. Now,
it is, Jim, but you're missing. There's time between to calm and relax. The deer start to move back. Listen, I watch it on my farm all the time. I'm not trying to be smart. I watch it all the time. And youth rifle season, my son shot a deer. Yep. He shot that deer. We didn't see a deer for 4 days. Guess what? 4 days later, the deer started coming back to feed.
Understood.
I see it all the time.
Understood. Let's just keep in mind that most of the guys you're talking about are hunting public land. So no matter what, there are people in the woods from the beginning of September all the way through January doing some kind of hunting. It doesn't matter whether they're pushing deer, hunting squirrels, hunting ringnecks, they're in the woods.
Trapping.
So these deer, they're not going to change any different because they know that you're in the woods.
I agree, but I'll disagree as well because I don't hunt mostly game lines anymore. And for me, every time you push a deer off my property, I ain't happy.
Well, that I understand.
So
now,
as much as we're saying that, it's not working for me.
That I completely understand, but you have to understand that it doesn't matter what time of the season or what week it is, whether it's bear season, deer season, small game season, there are people in the woods all the time. That means these deer, and I see it constantly when I have cameras out on public land. All summer long, deer every day, every day, every day. September comes, guys start scouting, no deer. So, and that goes all the way through the season, not just like you said, in 4 weeks, they're back. They're not, because those mature bucks on state land.
Well, I'm not talking
know.
mature bucks. I'm talking deer in general. Mature bucks are always different. Mature buck is going to hide in its bedding area. You know, the secret to a mature buck is food, water, and bed. You find those 3 things, you got it set. Now when rut comes in, find where the does are doing the same 3 things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and 80% is luck on public land. 80% is luck. And the only way the Game Commission can control deer herd or anything is by time and tags. That's it. That's all they got is time and tags. They got to try to create enough of time to have everybody get out there and keep the amount of licenses they can sell and keep people going. Because let's not forget, we're all kind of get a little greedy with this because you and I would say, and I was one of these guys, the hell with them. I'm kind of glad that there's less hunters because that's more deer for me to shoot. That's okay. But down the road, the less of us as we get older and people aren't coming behind us and replacing us, the larger that deer herd's going to grow. And then who suffers for that? The deer.
Oh, I'm not totally arguing what you're saying. I need you to know that.
Right.
I just think we're missing a lot of points in it. And that's where I'm.
Well,
you know, I think that when they did this proposal, I think there should have been a lot more process and a lot more.
I think you are just at the tip of the iceberg with this process. I don't think. Look, we all know how business works. We know how government works. They're not going to drop a proposal a week before the season to be voted in for this season and expect it to go through.
Oh, I know. That's why I said to Chris before. It's in the works. It's going to run. And 2-3 years, we'll have it. It'll be here.
It dropped a week before the season to make it known. The week before the meeting to make it known. Now there's going to have to be one of the things that you see on Facebook is it was shot down. It was shot down. It was shot down. This will be back. I guarantee this will be back. It's just a matter of proving that there's opportunity to get other people out there, get more people out there. Is this the answer to our problem? No one knows. No one knows. This is such that they got to try something. If we continue to do nothing, we won't get anywhere.
So let me ask you this. Now, I know you're not Game Commission, but this is mentally in my head, right? So if we're trying to get more people hunting, why did we limit the number of Sundays we hunted? Why didn't we continue hunting right through? You know, all the way through the small game, the flintlock. Why didn't we just keep going?
Well, that wasn't Game Commission. That's still Farm Bureau. That's still, they passed so many Sundays.
'Cause I know, I know.
They passed so many Sundays. 'Cause I know, I know. They passed so many Sundays. They passed so many Sundays. 'Cause I know, I know. They passed so many Sundays. They passed so many Sundays. 'Cause I know, I know. They passed so many Sundays. They passed so many Sundays. and Hunter Nation is working very hard to get Pennsylvania every Sunday. And from what I gather, within the next 5 years, they're not going to stop until they have every Sunday for you and I to hunt, which is perfect. They've already proposed the Sundays during spring gobbler season. Now, I don't know if you saw that proposal, but that takes a tag away from some people because there is an extra bonus gobbler tag that will be going away until they see what that does to the population of the turkey. If there's not a big upswing in harvest because of allowing Sunday hunting, then that tag will come back. But there's different ways. Like I said, there's only 2 ways to control deer harvest, and that's time and tags. And we have to allow. I understand everybody says you and I, we are the most pig-headed group of hunters, but yet we are the most dedicated. Okay, because I was a pro Monday. I loved that Monday start. It ripped my heart out. 2 reasons. I was greedy. One, I had a first day in Maryland on Saturday before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, and I came back to Pennsylvania and had an opening here in Pennsylvania. I have not hunted the opening in Pennsylvania for the last 7 years. I hunted Maryland. How many years do you think I went in Pennsylvania without a buck?
I imagine 3 or 4.
None. I either harvested one in archery season, or I harvested one the first week, or even the second week. I've already harvested them the last day. Today, it's not like it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, if I didn't get a buck by 9 o'clock the first day, I wasn't going to get one, because that's just the way it worked. It was one spike buck in 4 miles. Today, the opportunity is there. It's just the deer don't move like they did when we were kids. When I was a kid, and a lot of these older hunters, it's in their minds that when we were kids, we would see 60, 70 deer the first day of rifle season, and they were running everywhere. And these are the guys that are saying, I don't see any deer. Today, that doesn't happen. 90% of your deer are coming walking, feeding, just like they do in archery season, which you and I are archery hunters. We do that. These rifle hunters that grew up back in the 70s and 80s hunting deer, they're not used to that. They don't hunt them like you do in archery season, early morning, late afternoon feeding patterns. They expect them to come running in a group, and it doesn't happen like that anymore.
So we did have a bunch of comments. Chris, can we go back? I know JJ Smith had a comment and John Daly had a comment. I don't want to forget comments. So
no, those guys are just as important.
So JJ wrote, and I was waiting for Chris to read it. He probably got tired of us. I think they need to spend all this time and effort into bringing more programs and to focus heavier on youth programs, which I totally agree with.
I agree with that myself.
If you get kids involved, it will rekindle more of our adults who gave up on it. You have to build this up from the bottom, and I do think Saturday opener did kill the upstate cabin atmosphere, and that we all couldn't wait to be part of when it turned 12. So I think those are all great points. I think JJ has some really great points. And what's funny is I don't think you and I are arguing with both of them, any of them.
No, I feel for them. The Monday start guys, I feel for. Like I told you, I've been there. I loved it. I was part of the cabin thing. I camped, shooting, putting up tree stands. I agree with them. It's not like that anymore. It doesn't matter where that first day is. It's never going to be that way again, because they're never going to go back to that Monday start, because they need to open up more opportunity for younger people to be off. Now, around here, you and I both know that a lot of the schools are closed. They're closed Monday and Tuesday. But there's a lot of places in Pennsylvania that they're not. And it's if we don't replace what's going to quit in the near future, hunting's going to take a pretty hard lick. It's in Pennsylvania. We were number 2 in the nation for years. We were number 1 for years. I think now we fall. I think it's 5th for the amount of hunters. We're slowly. It's not slow. It's a massive decline, and it's a combination of things. Are the kids not interested because they like video games? Absolutely. Absolutely.
I truly don't think anything you do is going to change it. I
Well,
think these kids are brought up behind a video game, and I think all you're going to do is piss off other hunters.
let's take your son and my son, Nick. They're both Nicks, by the way. You have a Nick, and so do I.
That is true.
So, both of them love hunting. What?
Yeah,
what
but
does
if you
Nick-
put my son in front of a video game, he would choose that every time,
Well,
no matter how much he loves it.
yeah. Mine's the same. First day of rifle season in Maryland this year, Nick wouldn't go because he doesn't like the cold. Now, he's a real thin, skinny little kid.
Same.
Now, when I was a kid, my dad said, "You're going." I don't do that. You know,
I don't either.
if you don't want to go, I'm not going to make you go. And I can't make the kid go freeze. I wouldn't do that. But do I hope that down the road? Now, my Nick doesn't want to go to college. Does your Nick want to go? He's probably too young to make that decision at this
I think
point.
he wants to drop out when he's 16.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, man.
Well,
I mean, it's
my Nick wants to be a diesel mechanic. So either way, he has to go to school. He's not going to have the time, and I'm pretty sure with them sitting on the fence now, whether a video game or hunting, and they choose the video game, they're sitting on that fence where they're not going to go. And then to get them back interested in it to go is going to be tough. Now, like you said, we can sit here and say, no matter what we do, I think we're doomed. I don't think, but if we don't try something, we are definitely doomed.
and I do agree we have to try something. I just don't know if that's the answer.
Nobody does. Nobody does, Ben. Nobody knows if that's the answer or not. But if it allows more time for those kids, now they don't have that excuse. Now you have time.
Yeah, I think kids live behind an excuse, so it's hard for me.
They-
It's so hard for me, man.
I
like,
get it.
You know what I mean? Like I love them. I love teaching kids, helping kids, everything about them. I feel like a lot of kids, and I blame the parents. I don't blame the kids most of the time. Hide behind, there is the scenario where a parent does everything they can and the kid just doesn't. But
Right.
most time it's a parent, in my opinion. I don't want to forget questions or comments here, so we have 2 of them here.
Go ahead.
JJ Smith said, "We haven't even discussed the fact that moving it up will now be the same time deer season opens in New York, which
Well,
now takes out-of-state hunters from buying licenses."
okay. 7 years ago, I did hit that fact. 7 years ago, they moved the first day of rifle season in Pennsylvania to Saturday after Thanksgiving, which was Maryland's first day. So, and Maryland had more Pennsylvania hunters than New York does now at that time. And as well as Maryland hunters hunting Pennsylvania, because there was neighboring states with 2 first days within 2 days. You had Saturday and Monday. So that's going to pretty much cancel itself out because I have not hunted that first day in 7 years. I hunted Maryland. I live in Pennsylvania. I hunt Maryland the first day, and I do fine. I've killed a buck every year. Now I do hunt archery, but if I didn't get one in archery, I still killed a buck in rifle season and on public land. So it can be done. Not everybody's going to get one. And we all know that. But it's that, you know what I mean? It between New York starts, I think, Monday. It's the Monday after. So you would still have a chance to hunt Pennsylvania Saturday, part of Sunday morning, drive to New York and hunt Monday morning in New York for the first day if you wanted to.
Well,
I mean, that's what I used to do in Maryland. I used to hunt Maryland on Saturday and drive back to PA on Sunday and hunt Monday here.
I know a lot of guys that used to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not ignoring you, but we have a bunch of comments. I just want to make sure we cover them.
Nope, cover 'em.
Too much posted property nowadays. I'll use Irish Valley, for example. When I was a kid, there was one farm in the whole valley that was posted. Today, there isn't a single private farm that's open. So there's one. And then John Daly had a comment, Chris, as well. I just don't want to miss comments there. Chris, comment to that and pull John's up a while.
Okay. I like having more spaces open, but no farm is under the obligation to let you hunt there. It's a privilege. And apparently something must have happened for people to lose that privilege. You and I both know people are.
I agree totally, Chris. I think that most people, some people become selfish.
Warm box syndrome. I call it warm box syndrome. If I had a farm, 90 acres, whatever, and I had a box, I'm going to sit in it, and I don't want nobody chasing my deer either. So, I mean, I get it.
I got a box with a heater, Jim. It fits perfect. Chris, you've sat in that box. You know what I'm talking about. John Daly said, I asked the Game Commission if an older hunter could purchase a license and tags, a younger person shoot and use his tags for him. The older gentleman can still get the deer meat. The Game Commission I talked to did not like the idea.
No,
I would have even filled out a form. This will keep older hunters to purchase a license longer. Just a thought.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's states across the Commonwealth here, whatever you call it, that allow tag transfers. We allow it for youth. Why don't we allow it for adults? I don't see why you can't transfer a tag to a family member. I would agree 100% on that, but that's a Game Commission matter that I think maybe some opportunity in the future. There are a lot of states that do it.
So John Daly also just said, I have 3 boys. Don't see a deer by 10 a.m. I get a text. I'll see you, Dad. And you know, patience is so here, I disagree. Kids get bored of sitting in the woods and not seeing anything. See, and I do agree that there's got to be more for kids. I will always come back to there's so many other ways we can get kids involved. I don't think changing the season is the answer. Am I claiming I know the answer? No. No, I'm not. I am claiming I'm willing to help come up with a way, to make it better.
I'm going to ask you a question. How much do you like sitting out in 0-degree weather?
I hate it.
There it is.
You hate it. This way, having it a week earlier is more likely to get people involved.
What you're talking about? I build a blind with a heater. I don't have to worry about it. It can
don't
stay
give two flying communications about you. You're not everybody.
Hey, don't matter to me, brother. I'm worried about me. I'm a selfish hunter.
That's the problem with a lot of these
selfish hunter. I don't know what you want me. You hunted out of it. I gave it to you to use. Listen, this guy coming that had 90 acres to hunt all year long and a heated blind. I don't even want to hear it.
But he's right. He's right, Ben.
Tell the wife that. I'm recording this. Hold on.
He is 100% right. You're moving the season up a week where the temperatures don't drop down and the likeliness of snow, it's been stated that the likeliness of snow is not as much. And some of the older hunters don't like that.
See, I don't mind the snow. I like the snow. I think you see more deer.
Right.
I think you can track better. I think there's so much more for snow.
But it's warmer.
Well, I don't like the bitter. I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. I don't like the 0 temps. This shit we're getting now sucks. I don't. If I'll tell you now, if we had rifle season in this and I didn't have a heater, I wouldn't be out there. I'll tell you already.
I agree 100%.
I was just out in this and did a snow angel in a t-shirt. Okay.
But yes,
I like the cold.
Yes, you did. You sick son of a gun.
But the kids that don't like the cold, will it get them out? Hell, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where if we don't try something, we lose. If we try something, we get a bunch of pushback. There's really no real solid answer to this problem. But one thing that we need to do right now is bring to light to every hunter that there is an issue.
Yeah,
This
I
is-
totally agree. I'm all in. Let's bring that issue right now and say we have a problem.
Can't
We do.
time.
And
Yep.
oh, do we really? There's one more comment here, Chris. Read that one
Well,
off.
there's a lot more.
Oh my God, is there really? I missed them all.
I know.
So I completely miss all the
Well,
comments. Guys, I'm
go
so
over the
sorry.
comments. Go over the comments and let's do it again, Ben.
All right.
Yeah.
Says I especially like how the Game Commission gave us a 2-week rifle doe season in the late season this year and didn't even get to collect accurate harvest data yet before trying to impose major changes on regular rifle season like they did. Like you guys stated, this proposal will be back.
I hate
It
to
will
say
be.
it, but it will be back. I do believe that.
It will be back. I guarantee it.
They're going to keep passing until somebody, or keep bringing it until somebody passes.
Well,
And
I don't know. I don't know if that week will pass, but they got to do something. We all
It
agree
should.
that there's a problem.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with Ray. A lot of people do take things into the woods and leave them there, or they do something that causes the property to get posted. It's not just a random. It's not often just a random whim of the
Dude,
the
listen, I
property
didn't stop anybody from trout fishing this year, Chris. Nobody. If they wanted to fish, I let them fish. And then I started picking up garbage. Then I started chasing people. I said, you can go. You don't know how to pick up that for yourself. Get out of here.
Yep.
So, that's the thing. Like, all these hunters are complaining, but respect is so huge in this world. And if you lose that,
You know
I
what?
just realized something.
I'm good looking.
No, I knew that. I was always confused about Barnes's name. I just realized the 622 was the year he was born. He's talking about putting mink oil on his shoes.
Oh, Jesus.
You know why there's a lack of consideration and respect for your property? Because nobody ever put a foot in their ass. That's what's wrong.
Well, again, I go back to, I blame the parents. It's the generation. Listen, I say this and everybody can hear this and I'm okay with it. When I was a kid, my mama slapped the shit. Like, I'm not trying to be smart. There was no, Chris is muting me.
Yeah, he muted you.
I did because you said everybody can hear me, and I'm like, nah.
I don't care. Like I'm not ashamed to say, hey, I got a bunch of butt whoopings as a kid. I got them. And let me tell you, I remember them today. I want you to know. I didn't forget them.
I'm with you.
But they made me a better person.
Yep.
And I'd never raise 3 kids alone. Dude, I'd never be able to do that if my parents didn't teach me the thing of family and how to survive and the importance of life and integrity and respect. And none of that's taught anymore.
They know how to do this today.
Kids nowadays, when we babysit a kid, and somebody tell me I'm wrong, I want to hear it. So here's how we babysit a kid.
You're right.
The iPad or a cell phone. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not.
Chris, you want to tell me? You just like tell me. You want to tell me?
No, I mean, I'll tell you when I tell you. But it is time.
All right. So we did reach time. Let's we can always continue this another day.
Yep.
Let's end it here. I want to thank again Madness Entertainment Group for now streaming us on all their podcasts. Don't forget we're on Roku. And guys, if you're watching and never watched before, please take a moment, go to Facebook, hit that like button, and stop over and subscribe to YouTube, because if you guys don't do those things, we can't continue to do our things. And don't forget to stop by Chubby Buck, say hello to our friend Jim. Makes incredible custom calls. So thanks for joining us tonight. God bless all of you, and we're going to roll out of here.